Are you worried about running out of money in retirement, not having enough savings? Are you worried about healthcare costs? Are you worried about being able to just support yourself and being able to get to retirement? Today's episode answers the question, what is financial stability and why is it so crucial to retirement? Welcome to Wealthy After 40. Ready to ditch debt, retire sooner, and live life on your own terms? Only 54% of Gen Xers feel prepared for retirement, and 22% believe they will live a comfortable lifestyle. So if you're feeling like your finances are a hot mess express, you're not alone. I'm Daylene Higgins, founder of Elevate Finances and money coach for Gen Xers. I reached my dream of retiring at 50 while helping our daughter through college, and now I want to help you do the same. It's time to stop avoiding your finances like the plague and start having confident conversations about money. Join me every week to talk about personal budgeting, debt payoff, saving for retirement, money mindset, and leaving a legacy for future generations. Okay, friends, let's talk money. In today's episode, we're going to talk about financial stability and why it's so crucial to retirement. But financial stability isn't just crucial to retirement, it's crucial to everybody who has money and wants to feel secure. So before I dive into the specifics of this episode, I just want to share what financial stability means. Now, if you've heard emergency fund, this is a little bit in that. I like to take it a step further. And really it is being in a position that if anything were to happen, or most anything were to happen, you have the funds to cover it. You're not taking on debt. You're not extra stressed or worried. And you know the steps you need to take that put you in such a better position, even if it exceeds what you have saved, you know better what you can do and how you can support yourself. The reason I wanted to share this topic was one of my recent clients, as she began to work with me, she was sharing that a coworker had shared with her she was going to have to put off her retirement by at least a year due to storm damage from a recent tropical storm. As she was sharing this, I could tell she was worried for herself and, concerned, uncertainties, all of those in that sense. I shared with her that my program taught how to build financial stability, how to be prepared for a situation similar to this. Now, we don't know if we're going to be, quote, victims of a tropical storm. We don't know if, certain things are going to happen, and we just need to prepare better. I remember back when my father had heart bypass, and, they say, okay, he'll spend a day or two in ICU, then 2 or 3 days in the hospital, he'd go home, it'll be fine. He ended up spending the 6 days in ICU. His body was struggling to recover for whatever reason. And I thought to myself, I don't have to worry about how my parents are going to pay this medical bill. ICU is not cheap. It's a situation that happened and overextended due to him and his health or whatever reasons. And I only got to worry about him and hoping he would get better, not that second additional worry about how are they going to pay for it. This is going to just wreck them. I knew that. And that also taught me the importance of financial stability. As you think about financial stability, think of how it can eliminate the stresses of these emergency events. It won't completely wipe out everything, but we can definitely eliminate one major factor. We can eliminate ongoing stress of, if we have to end up taking out debt to cover this. A lot of individuals aren't exactly sure what financial stability is, but they have heard of emergency funds. So this has probably been you and you have an emergency fund, but all too likely you're dipping into that often. You're not clear like when you should be dipping into that. That was me. I felt like emergency fund, if you Google that, it's going to tell you, 3 to 6 or 6 to 12 months of expenses due to job loss. Okay, both of those situations I shared with you at the beginning of the episode had nothing to do with job loss. I can see that there's a disconnect in why we need to have emergency funds and how to define them to make it easier for us to be able to dip in it or to not be able to dip into it. I have many clients come and they say, I try to do savings, but then I need it. And there is a twofold for that, which I will jump into in a minute. I want to talk about emergency savings. I found a survey, some statistics from a survey Forbes did, and they said 38% of responding people for the survey had $1,000 to $2,000 saved for emergencies. So that's 38%, while 18% had no savings at all. So 56%, you add those two percentages together, they're not prepared for an emergency. They're not prepared for a large emergency. 1,000 to 2,000 is great, but what are you going to do? 37% of Americans can't afford an unexpected expense over $400. And then 34% say they couldn't cover a $1,000 emergency without taking on debt. Thinking about that, I'm going to dive into that just a little bit. So they also shared that when people have had a financial emergency in the past 6 months, the most common expenses were car repairs, home repairs, and medical bills. Not job loss. Not job loss. Now, if you're in an industry that has that, yes, you need to be, covering that, supporting that, but that's just one area. That is one area that does not financially cover you for all of the situations. The last statistics in 2022, 28% of adults went without some form of medical care because they couldn't afford it. And it's interesting that this ties into the largest worry of individuals as they approach retirement. They're worried about running out of their savings, and the biggest worry is that medical will deplete this. So what do? The best stance you can take, the best situation you can set yourself up for is to create financial stability. Create stability to support possibilities of things happening. And I'm not saying being a Debbie Downer, and I'm not saying you have to have a crystal ball, but there are definitely areas within our lives where we can start setting money aside for when things happened. I already mentioned 3 of them: car repairs, home repairs, and medical bills. Within those 3, somebody's car repair fund is going to be different from somebody else's, especially if you have a newer car, an older car, 1 car, 3 cars. There's a lot of different things to add into and figure that. But if you have some form of savings for car repairs, that is one step in the right direction. Same with home repairs. Maybe you're renting. There's still going to be a little bit to cover, but not in the same regard as somebody who owns their home. And we all probably have medical bills to some extent or another. And being prepared for that is huge. Understanding how to then have the capability to pay for any one of those things is huge. When I say financial stability, essentially I mean you need liquid savings. Liquid savings is money you can access within 1 or 2 days without losing the value of that money. We're not talking in investments of any sort, to help support you in a quick turn of events. Or maybe it's not even a quick turn of events. It's just a situation as you're transitioning through life, as you're transitioning through retirement. My most recent transition, relocating, I realized the importance of having more liquid savings than I did. And I had a pretty good amount set aside. But through that transition, I was like, dang, I needed more. So don't go with a base. Go higher than you think you can. Start with a base. That's the achievable way of reaching these goals, is having a base, and then push yourself because you're going to need it. Financial stability means saving money in key areas for support when something does happen. And as I say that, and as an individual looking at retirement in the next 5, 10, 15 years, don't let life events derail your retirement. Be sure to set money aside for these key areas. If you're unsure where to start, this is a strategy I teach inside both my 90-day program and my membership. Now, if you've been listening, you know my membership is new. Doors are opening September 23rd. We'll walk you through. It includes this. It supports you. The difference between the membership and my coaching program within this realm is that, a little higher touch customization, personalization support for different key areas in your life. However, even having said that, membership will set you up on a great path of knowing what you need to cover and how that's going to work. And then when something that you haven't, quote, anticipated happens, you still know how to take care of it and then how to put back those funds. That is the stability part. Being able to create that stability and continue that stability as you're going to use it. We all know our car is going to break down. We all know we're going to have to repair the house at some point or another. Being able to tie that need, tie that level of support into your cash flow strategy is huge. And having the stability built before retirement will help ensure an easier transition, as well as the knowledge to continue building this into retirement. Just because we retire, emergencies don't end. In fact, they may occur more often just because of age. Things are happening more. Our homes are a little bit older. Things happen. But being prepared is key. And being prepared with money, stability. Stability will support not only those headed to retirement, but anybody. I know that the level of debt out there for the majority of individuals comes from this part of money, not being prepared, not being able to handle those irregular expenses. But this time we are talking about beyond that. If you're somebody that is worried about your savings running out in retirement, this is where you need to put some focus to. Now, you still need to save for retirement. Yes, you've got to invest for the long term. That is not my lane, other than I can help you find savings to give to your financial advisor, but really building the stability so that when something does happen on the home front, you're able to quickly have that money, take care of it, have a strategy that works for you, as opposed to being, turning to your credit, having to take out a loan, having to get a HELOC, whatever measures you have thought or done before. This will set you up. If this strategy is of any interest to you, be sure to check out my membership. There's a link to the sales page down in the show notes. There's also a link to my 90-day program if you're wanting higher touch, quicker results. Both of those will support the financial stability. I believe this area is key. It has protected my family. It has protected me individually. I love having that reserve of money to support changes in life. Sometimes we are thinking we're going down one path, something happens, or maybe something doesn't happen, but there's a different desire. This will help you be able to pivot without worry, making a better plan and supporting you into achieving your financial goals in the future. I thank you for listening. Please reach out if you have any questions, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. Every week, my goal is to help you get one step closer to financial freedom and making confident decisions so your money starts working for you. Do you have any questions or comments about today's episode? Please send me a message on Instagram or use the fan mail link in the show notes below. To stay connected beyond the podcast, join my newsletter for insights on growing wealth, behind-the-scenes musings, and opportunities to contribute to future episodes. A free gift awaits you. If you're looking for personalized support to get your finances on track to becoming debt-free, being able to retire sooner, or better understanding your finances while navigating a new financial situation, check out my website at elevatefinances.us to learn more about one-on-one coaching.